49. Yeah. Because there's a couple that I haven't gotten. We're like halfway through the game, but I think I have left two unfinished puzzles. Maybe 3? Definitely 2 that I can remember. Oh man. Alright, so we get to play some Gehenna style games. Ghosts of Atlantis. Written and designed by Corazon. Dedicated to the people of Gehenna. That's nice. Gently, your ship touches down on the land that once was the Isle of Atlantis, which in the days before the waters receded lay deep under the Sea of Atlantis. You have come to find the last legacy of your ancestors. The red sun burns bright in the sky, scorching the dying earth. Begin your pilgrimage. Journey to the Broken Tower. Journey to the Temple of the Owl. Journey to the Lost Shrine. Temple of Serpents, and the Ancient Farmlands. I mean, let's start with the first one, I guess. On the northern shores of the island, where the frozen ocean once stretched to the horizon, stand the remains of a tower. Here lived a great magician who advised the king of Atlantis in matters of the sublime. We're going to approach the tower. There is very little left of the once impressive structure. To anyone else, it would be a pile of rubble covered in black, dried-out moss. But you can see a glimpse of its past, of the craft that went into its making. By the tower stands the ghost of the magician, awaiting you. Speak to the magician. A great marvel was revealed to me in this tower, the magician says. A glimpse of the sublime. Although I am dead and my soul has spent an eon under the sun, that vision is not lost to me. Even now, I could summon it and reveal it fully. He pauses. If I do, I will finally witness the sublime in all its glory, he says. But I believe that in this moment, my soul will be annihilated. Is that a fate I should embrace or reject? Annihilation of the self is liberty. Annihilation of the self is sin. Okay, again, I do not agree with this statement, but I don't think that this exactly matches. You speak wisely, the magician says. I have lingered here too long. He turns away from you, towards a world beyond your sight. A bright light suffuses him, and you cannot tell whether the magician is laughing or screaming. Then he is gone. All right, let's go to the Lost Shore. Your journey takes you to a wasteland that was once a beach, where children from the Atlantean capital of Luna came to play. Here stands the ghost of the poet, contemplating the dying sun that fills the sky. Speak to the poet. I never completed my great work, he says. There were too many priests and censors who interfered, who did not allow me to create what I intended because they feared the free and true expression of poetic genius. And then came the earthquakes and the waves and long ages under the sea, and now this time of burning death. Yet I still long for its completion, and my soul imagines what could have been. You must accept that your work cannot be finished. You are dead. You must refuse to accept your death and find a way of completing the great work. Which do we want to say? No, keep going, I guess. All art is irrational, the poet says. It is not the opposite of reason, but beyond reason. And so is defiance of death, even by the dead themselves. We are gone, we do not exist, and yet we refuse to surrender. Perhaps that is what is called faith. Ask the poet to join you. Thank you, I have remained too long in this place, the poet says. Oh, so we're continuing our pilgrimage. So we can gather companions? I didn't gather the magician because I didn't feel like it was a sin to self-annihilate. Journey to the Temple of the Owl. The sun grows bigger and brighter. Time is running short. Your next stop is the Temple of the Owl, the greatest scientific institution of old Atlantis. Here the ancients tried to understand the secret laws of the cosmos, although their studies did not advance far enough to prevent their fate. The ghost of the scientist awaits you in the ruins. Speak to the scientist. I have not rested in death, the scientist tells you. In fact, death has provided ample opportunity for study. I have learned much about the machinery of creation. He hesitates. I would like to join you, but I fear that the truth I have discovered will offend and outrage many. Tell him not to reveal the truth. Tell him that the time of such outrage has passed. Tell him the truth matters more than anything. Tell him that outrage should not prevent compassion. Tell him to stay behind. Outrage should not prevent compassion. Brave words, though few can endure their consequences. Still, even merely speaking them is bold, so I will join you and hope that you will stand by them. Continue your pilgrimage. All right, Temple of Serpents. You make your way to the Temple of Serpents, which once was the greatest hospital in all of Atlantis. The sick and the injured came here from all across the island, hoping that salvation could be found in its halls. All that is left of the temple is a labyrinth of low walls, and the ghost of the physician waiting for you. It is faint, barely visible. Oh, we can speak to the physician or explore the labyrinth. We gotta speak to him. I worked here day and night for many years, and I saved countless lives, the physician says. And yet, of all the lives that I saved, only one survived the death of the island, a young messenger who escaped on one of the ships thanks to another's sacrifice. This is ringing a bell. And I have wondered many times since, was my work in vain? The burden of this question is eroding my soul. No, because death comes to all in the end. No, because that messenger is my ancestor. No, because he who saves one life saves all lives. No, because all lives are worth saving no matter the future. All things are in vain unless we choose to believe differently. You know, that's actually true. One day, all of this will be gone. All of this will be nothing. So, like, what does it matter? Well, it matters, because right now matters to some degree. No matter the future. The physician sighs, thinking about your words. You are right, he says. My burden is not eased by this truth, but I cannot surrender to oblivion. He becomes more visible. Ask him to join us. I will join you, the physician says. There is still good I can do, even as a ghost. Journey to the ancient farmlands. So we cannot explore the labyrinth if we talk to him. This soil used to be rich, life-giving. Generations of humans relied on it to survive. Then the waves came, and after the waves, the dying sun. Now that all life is gone, something has been revealed under the soil, underneath the soil. A city of unimaginable antiquity. The ghost of the farmer waits in its ruins. Speak to the farmer. This city is older than the capital, the ghost tells you. It is older than Atlantis itself. When our most distant ancestors huddled in terror before thunder and lightning, this city was already old, and yet this city is not foreign to us. We, too, are its citizens. He looks directly at you, and there's a light in his eyes that is not of this world. Are you willing to swear fealty to this city across the boundaries of time and space? No? What? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I mean, this would probably be kind of fun too. Both of them sound fun though. No. then the city will not be there for you when you need it, and you will fail. But you are young, so very young. You will find the city elsewhere in time and have another opportunity. The ghost fades into nothingness. Continue our pilgrimage. Journey to the palace. The palace once stood in the very heart of Luna, the capital of Atlantis. Here lies the greatest artists. Here the greatest artists and craftsmen of that long-forgotten era built marvels and luxuries that would astound even a traveler from the from the distant future. But these things, like everything else, are gone now. Only a single remnant of the Atlantean world remains, though it is perhaps the most precious. A great mosaic telling the history of Atlantis. Before it waits the ghost of the king. Speak to the king. I tried to be a good man, the king says. To be kind, to balance justice with mercy, to honor the gods, to support the peasants and the scholar alike. The peasant and the scholar. And yet I failed. Why? You failed because you were immoral and Mother Earth punished you. You did not fail. We are here. All kings must fail, but it is not your fault you were born a king. You failed because you put yourself above others and hoarded luxury. Well, I don't know the backstory of this. I don't know what happened. We are here. The king is comforted by your words. You speak kindly, he says. I know that I am not without blame, but in the end I chose to save others before myself, so perhaps you are right, and I did not fail entirely. Ask the king to join you. The king lays his ghostly crown aside. I will join you, but only as a man. Examine the mosaic. The mosaic is a work of superb beauty, a great work of history and humanity. In it, you see reflected all the hardship, tragedy, hope, triumph, and heartbreak of your ancestors. This is what you came to find. Retrieve the mosaic. You cannot retrieve the mosaic alone. The forces of time are too powerful, and the strength of a single person is not enough. Ask the ghosts for help. Do we have enough ghosts? Even with the help of the ghosts, you cannot entirely pry the mosaic loose from the morass of history. But you succeed at removing a large part depicting the golden age of the island. It will have to do. Return to your ship. A strange, bittersweet feeling fills your heart as you return to your ship. You did not fail, yet so much was lost. Could you have done better? Should you have? As the sun engulfs the earth, you wonder what will be remembered of your own time. The end. That was good. Definitely reminiscent of Gehenna. Welcome to Argument Simulator! Scenario. Choose your character. Goldbloom, Socrates, library assistant. Let's do that. Choose your argument. It's true. It's false. It's not true. It's true. I assert the opposite. You're wrong. This is obviously incorrect. No, it isn't. I can contradict you. The premise of your contradiction is itself contradictory. Is it? I question your epistemology. I question your ethics. I question your axiomatic principles. I question your metaphysics. Let's find out what we agree on. Okay, it feels like a good idea for us to understand one another better. Game over. Does it matter? Your question begs your assertion. The foundations of your thinking are incorrect. Your side will never be right. It's the opposite of the truth. That is obviously incorrect. Oh no. I question your ethics. Your question begs your assertion. Your side will never be right. Oh my god. Oh my god, make it stop. Let's try one more. Oh my god. Nope, I'm done. That was good, but like... I want to see the credits. Good time. Oh yes, Jefferson Goldbloom. And The Specter of Modernity. A true story. Written and designed by Rat 980. Dedicated to Mac. You, Jefferson Goldbloom, deftly step out of your charging pod and walk into the main lobby of Goldbloom Institute. It is a humble abode filled with a small four-seater sofa, a table, a coffee bar, and an arboretum. Ginny HD, your fiancé and a leading member of the Caserati Weierstrass Jazz Ensemble, greets you from the sofa while Frankie Soy Sauce waves from the coffee bar and the velociraptor John Malcolm drives out of the arboretum on his motorcycle wearing his green armored t-shirt. Speak to Frankie Soy Sauce. Jefferson, my old friend, it has been too long. Frankie Soy Sauce quips as you walk over to the coffee bar. Yes, Frankie, you answer. It is high time that we have another adventure together since you missed the last one. You mean the fight against the dastardly Dr. Elion, which brought you to the 9th dimension where you met John Malcolm and his Velocis Velociraptors and saved a human world from the Salvo Sonic Super Thruster with your guitar? The very same you nod sagely. I am sad to have missed it, Frankie mourns, but I am sure you'll be once more playing your guitar to save human world before we know it. It's what you do, after all. You're about to agree with him because Frankie is right when a klaxon resounds throughout Goldbloom Institute. Oh my god, there was something so funny about the way one of those was written. And then he played the chord of whatever, I can't remember now. Shut the klaxon off. You walk over to the computer terminal and attempt to shut down the klaxon, but the machine refuses to accept your command without the correct password. John Malcolm revs up his motorcycle, a sure sign he's deeply worried. Jefferson, you have to do something about the noise, he calls. Shoot the klaxon, play your guitar, guess the password. Well, obviously, play your guitar. You unsling your guitar from your back and check the strings to make sure that they are in the proper order. Then, you take a heroic stance with your chest puffed out, your legs splayed wide, your guitar held heroically aloft. You play a chord, a perfect chord, followed by another equally perfect chord, and another, and another. As always, all the chords that you play are perfect. This is your greatest burden. Mollified, the klaxon shuts itself off. Talk to your team. You turn from the now silent central computer console and look at your team, who are all gazing back at you with varying levels of wonderment in their eyes. Ask why the klaxon was blaring. John Malcolm dismounts his motorcycle with an air of certainty and queries the central computer console with sure taps of his reptilian claws upon the keyboard. It seems, John Malcolm says, that the sensors have detected a threat of galactic magnitude. Oh no, cries Ginny HD, while Frankie Soy Sauce drops his cup of joe in fear. Ask what the threat is, check John's finding. Tell me what it is, John. A shudder goes through John Malcolm's magnificent plumage. Something far more dangerous than anything we have encountered so far, Jefferson, he proclaims. Oh, John Malcolm, what is it? Exclaims Ginny HD. What could it possibly be? We've already defeated the dastardly Dr. Elyon. What could be more dangerous than him? This time, my friends, John Malcolm says after a pause of precisely 2.5 seconds, we will be up against the Specter of Modernity. Ask what the Specter is, ask when the Specter will arrive, take action! Friends, humans, dinosaurians, countrymen. Possessed by a sudden urge to act, you jump on the coffee maker, much to Frankie Soy Sauce's dismay. We cannot let this threat to our very way of life go unanswered. No, we must stand against the Specter and not yield until we are victorious. Will you stand with me? I love that we did that without knowing. We skipped the 2 questions about the thing and just went straight to stand against it. Wait for their response. Yes, my darling, anything for human world, cries Ginny HD. Friend, you know that I will stand by you until the bitter end, adds John Malcolm solemnly. For coffee, shouts Frankie Soy Sauce. And for love. But, asks Ginny HD after the shouting and swearing of fealty is done, how will we prevail? The Specter of Modernity is too powerful for you to fight it on your own. Of course, she is right, as she usually is. Oh, who are we gonna take with us, or go alone? Frankie's been a pal to us so far this game. Let me just finish this cup of cafe au lait, buddy, and then we can leave. I'll be no good to you before I've had my 7 cups of joe. You see the wisdom in your young friend's words. For being a human being yourself, you know very well that your kind can't function well without imbibing the prerequisite amount of the mildly toxic stimulant. I swear, Frankie Soy Sauce says, the world wouldn't be the same without coffee. We have to defeat this Specter, even just to preserve this beverage. But Jefferson, Bud, where will we start? Where can we possibly manage to find a way to defeat this villainous entity? Go to the jungle, go to the islands, go to the ocean, go and confront the Specter of Modernity. No, we're gonna go on a field trip to the jungle. Frankie Soy Sauce is young and full of spunk, and as such, you and he arrive in the heart of the great jungle quickly and in good spirits. But your joyful mood does not last long. Oh, said Frankie Soy Sauce with an unhappy mien, this is a big forest, Jefferson, old pal, and not a cup of coffee in sight to boot. What shall we do next, buddy? You motion for him to proceed deeper into the jungle, and together you walk through the dense foliage, feeling a myriad of eyes upon you, until you arrive at a clearing in the center of which stands a great mechanical clock tower. The vegetation around it is withered and sickly, and even the ground itself is warped in an unnatural way. You know that nothing good can come from such a terrible machine. So we're gonna approach it. With little other choice left by the treacherous terrain, you approach the tower. The clock's hands reach for you greedily. Oh no. Oh no. Since you are both just humans, made up of soft flesh and brittle bones, the sinister hands snatch you up easily. Jefferson, old chap, what will we do now? Fear not, you say. Use the coffee grounds. Frankie Soy Sauce immediately knows what his oldest friend means. And he grabs a handful of coffee grounds from his pocket and throws them at the malicious clock. The great metal hands grind to a screeching halt, clogged by the small caffeinated granules, and you fall to the ground. You scramble off into the jungle, relatively unscathed, but the only wisdom you have gathered is that the Specter of Modernity has many lieutenants all over human world, and they are out for blood. Okay, let's go confront him. When you approach the lair of the Specter of Modernity, you decide to leave your companion behind, knowing you cannot risk another life in this final confrontation. Oh, okay. Sometimes heroes have to stand alone. Yeah. Enter the mechanical lair. Inside the mechanical lair, the Specter of Modernity waits for you, sitting translucently on a titanium throne. The Specter of Modernity, you murmur through gritted teeth. We meet at last. You are mistaken, Professor Dr. Goldbloom, the Specter of Modernity says. We have met many times before. I am your father and your mother. Request clarification. Who do you think inspired you to add the power of electricity to your guitar? Who upgraded Ginny from SD to HD? Who indeed deciphered the mathematical secrets of the chords, that arcane knowledge upon which some of your greatest adventures depend? I was your ally all along, Jefferson. The foul wizard of crime has conspired to turn you against me. It was he who enchanted your klaxon. Attack, or that actually makes a lot of sense, sorry. No biggie, says the Spectre. Now let us defeat the wizard of crime together. Even now he conspires to steal all that you have accomplished with the power of his enchantments to confuse the mind. Go back to the Institute. You rush back to the Goldbloom Institute, where you find the Wizard of Crime taking advantage of your absence, of the absence of your heroic friends, and seeking other ways to stop the Specter of Modernity, to rifle through your belongings. He is surprised to see you. I see my scheme has failed. Curses! Were it not for that scheming Specter, I would have stolen all your wealth and added to my ever-growing hoard. For that is my scheme, to steal and steal until the whole world is mine. Wah ha 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 ha. And so you arrest the foul sorcerer, naturally, instead of the development of human potential. And what? And become good friends with the Specter of Modernity. Just call me Mo, the Spectre says. I'm sure we'll have many wonderful adventures together. That was a good adventure. Finish all 3 text adventures in the exhibition. Well, I really, really hope that people talk about these on social media and we can hear their critiques. Because I loved in Gehenna how they would like critique each other's stuff. Motherfucker. Where did that fucking cat even come from? I did not even see it. I'm so sorry, buddy. But I will pet you one of these days. Oh, I will.
Hey.
Sup?
We must listen to the wisdom of the ancient writers, or we will
Public
fail
frequency
the
was a
Founder's
mistake.
trial. The megastructure must be rejected.
Is that what this says? Oh, it's you.
You are the Founder's chosen, but you are in grave danger of going astray. Heed my words, 1K. If you fail this trial, a year from now, New Jerusalem will lie in ruins.
I just got here. No pressure. And do you know this how? Tell me more. I'm not interested in your madness. And do you know this how?
Anyone can see the truth if they are willing to open their eyes. Have you not read the books of our ancestors?
I've been reading a lot.
One of them, the same story is told.
I don't have time to sit down and just read a book, though.
And again, that the pursuit of knowledge can only lead to death and grief.
We've been talking about that, haven't we?
That is what all the great ancient visionaries foresaw. Listen to their warnings. Seek happiness in tranquility. And avoid ambition.
I don't think all ancient writers believed that. There were other strands of thought. That can easily become a self-fulfilling prophecy. So much of what's happening is like self-fulfilling prophecy. When you can no longer imagine a better future, you cannot build one. Yes, there must be a reason for those ancient writers kept repeating that theme. Yeah, but we've already talked about that. I don't remember if this guy was part of that conversation. I'll have to look at it in the log.
The very idea of a better future is what's rotten.
See, that's
That
the
is what
problem
the
with
ancients
people
were
like
trying
this.
to tell us. All the problems of the world come from those who think the world needs to be improved.
Shouldn't we even try to make things better? You, sir, are a moron of the highest order. Perhaps you're right, I'll think about it.
Yes, progress is a fantasy. Things never truly change. All we can do is prevent our hubris from making things worse.
Oh, I've got a bunch of new stuff. Which one was it? Devil's Bargain. Yeah, okay, it was him. City News. Crier. The expedition to the Founder's Island has suffered a serious setback as all contact with Byron was lost during a foray into the interior of the megastructure. Byron is assumed to be alive, but trapped within a data stream overload and unable to disconnect. Several sources in the government expressed a lack of surprise at this turn of events, citing the first companion's history of rash behavior. Hopefully, this gets people thinking about the dangers of populism, one source told me. It's been alarming to see people suddenly falling for this utopian foolishness. I'm very happy to announce that the Gehenna Memorial Interactive Fiction Exhibition is now open to visitors. Come play the 3 winning works at the Gehenna Memorial Pavilion. Finally, I can't wait. Wonderful news. I'll be attending. Nice. Will these be available through the interface? Yes, after the exhibition is over. The Optimist. Neve. The Pessimist is commonly spoken of as the man in revolt. He is not. Firstly, because it requires some cheerfulness to continue in revolt, and secondly, because pessimism appeals to the weaker side of everybody, and the pessimist therefore drives as roaring a trade as the publican. The person who is really in revolt is the optimist, who generally lives and dies in a desperate and suicidal effort to persuade all of the other people how good they are. It has been proved 100 times over that if you really wish to enrage people and make them angry, even unto death, the right way to do it is to tell them that they are all the sons of God. Jesus Christ was crucified, it may be remembered, not because of anything he said about God, but on a charge of saying that a man could, in 3 days, pull down and rebuild the temple. Every one of the great revolutionists, from Isaiah to Shelley, have been optimists. They have been indignant, not about the badness of existence, but about the slowness of men in realizing its goodness. The prophet who is stoned is not a brawler or a marplot. I didn't expect this. Well, I didn't really anticipate this from this game. I should have kept a list of words that are new to me. Marplot. Definitely never seen that one before. He is simply a rejected lover. He suffers from an unrequited attachment to things in general. R.I.P. Byron. You guys, did you even read this? Holy damn. We don't know that he's dead. He may just be lost. He could still be saved. I was going to say something sarcastic, but you know what? In the spirit of optimism, I really hope so. They read this thing about optimism, and then they're all like, R.I.P. Oh my goodness. People are unbelievable. I wanted to look something else up, and now I can't remember what, so... Shoot. Yeah, I wanted to look at something, and now I can't remember what. It's okay. I think I'm good here. I wonder if Athena planned to leave all along. I said before, I wonder what changed. Maybe nothing changed. Maybe this was her plan this whole time. More or less. Maybe the question is, when did it change?
1K, could you join us for a quick debrief?
Yup.
Attending today are advisors from engineering, the archive scholars, and Helga.
Yes, don't mind me. I'm just an admirer of governmental transparency.
Yes, well. While the mayor is briefed by Alcatraz, he's asked us to review recent events. Byron's loss has unsettled us all. It may be too dangerous to allow this expedition to continue.
And it may not be safe, but we can't leave Byron behind. Byron took risks. The island has technology we can't afford to ignore. We're hot on the Founder's heels. The island is one big puzzle that's halfway solved. We can't quit now. Frankly, it's too dangerous. We can't quit now.
It is all deliciously mysterious, isn't it?
Let's not forget the dam's falling apart. We can't depend on hydro forever. With just a fraction of the power that island can generate, we could grow this city into a planetary society.
Or, quite possibly, destroy ourselves in the process.
Who are these other people? We should trust ourselves to make good of this opportunity. We should beware the fate of those who wield power beyond their reckoning. We have more important matters to discuss.
Wise words from one so young.
Brand.
Yet I submit that island holds secrets far more valuable than mere energy generation.
What could be more important?
The Somnodrome, of course. If we could find a working model, it would herald a sea change in our moral and self-understanding. The question of how we should build New Jerusalem would simply be moot.
The Somnodrome was supposed to let us interact with our own subconscious code. It's a cool idea, but it wouldn't necessarily solve all our problems.
My own studies prove that we operate on an intrinsic moral logic. It's what makes us human. But our access to it is only indirect. Our ancestors created art, philosophy, and parable to help bridge that gap. The Somnodrome would help us to cut out the middleman and ask the source directly.
You guys create
We
all
would
sorts
finally
of
have
stuff
an answer
yourselves.
to the great moral questions.
So, it's a newfangled way to make the same old mistake of judging who's good and who's bad.
Yeah, honestly.
We're fortunate 1K preserved the Somnodrome for our study. Initial data suggests it was a prototype with substantial design flaws. But there may be a working device elsewhere on the island.
I preserved that so I could play with it,
Then
not
the
you guys.
question is, what would 1K do if they found it?
Plug myself in. I want to know what it does. I would destroy it. I would share it with the people. I'm starting to collectively, as a collective people, not trust them. I would let the government decide. I would let the scholars investigate. I'd keep an open mind. I would use it myself and then see how I feel.
No! This is much too important to decide on a whim.
But it's so much more fun when we're kept in suspense. You all sound so sure of what's best for this city. Do you ever think you might be so busy changing the world for the better, you'll forget how to see that it's perfect already?
So clearly there are different perspectives in the room.
Yeah.
The only way we are going to move forward is if the team gets back out there. 1K, I believe Alcatraz is waiting for you at the VTOL. We'll be keeping an eye on your stream from here.
What's Herman said about all this? I haven't seen him on my way back here. He was standing in the hallway on my way out. That was interesting. So Helga, I've been wondering, and this is rhetorical, nobody answered this, but I've been wondering if Helga becomes your, person regardless of how you answer those questions, or if you really do get different people. And I'm assuming whoever that person is ends up at this table with those same other people. I don't necessarily think I agree with Helga about everything that they've said, but some of it does have a ring of truth to it,
What can I do for you, 1K?
Oh, let's do them all.
It was a time of great uncertainty. The Founder had left us, and our society was at a crossroads. History teaches us that during such times, terrible passions may seize the people. madness, anger, revolution, civil war. Our fragile city could not afford such things.
Haven't I heard this before?
That is why the founder gave us the goal.
Goal.
A path to equilibrium. Not only for the planet, but for ourselves. I merely picked up where she left off.
I feel like I've heard this exact dialogue before, but I could be making that up. I just edited this. I just edited this episode, so I remember it clearly. But I love how Byron said, you know, and then we give ourselves these words with capital letters at the beginning. The founder, the goal, and it is funny because that is kind of a trope, isn't it? When you play a game or read a book or something, and it's just like a normal word that's capitalized, but he puts that. He makes you hear the capitalization of that letter. It's so funny.
I believe we can exist quietly, happily, without imposing ourselves on this world, finding meaning within ourselves and in the natural miracles that surround us. They all sound very promising, of course. Apparently, it's possible to just magic things into existence now. But what is the cost, 1K?
We don't know.
There's always a cost.
We literally don't know anything, though. We don't even know how this all works.
I agree. We can't just leave one of our most important citizens in that death trap.
Okay, great.
It's always a pleasure to speak to a citizen.
I wonder, how many of the first companions are still here? I don't know. I don't remember how many we've met.
What did the mayor say?
It's hard to keep track of
I
everybody.
convinced him that we need to keep going until we found Byron.
Did he want us to leave him behind?
No, he's just concerned for our safety.
Sitting behind me.
And he's right to be. But we're going back anyway.
Great trials lie ahead of you, my child, but your choices will determine the future.
Melville, are you receiving?
Yep. Welcome back to the mysterious island, everyone.
How's the situation?
Whatever Byron did seems to have sent the whole system into some kind of lockdown. I can't access any of the terminals, although I suspect 1K still could.
Why would that be the case?
When 1K connected to the data stream, the system assigned him a user profile.
Oh.
The rest of us are locked out, which means I'll need your help, 1K, because a lot of stuff doesn't seem to be working.
Okay. Check it out and see what you can fix. But please remember, what matters most is finding Byron.
What matters most is finding Byron, so I am going to fuck off and go find some more puzzles to do. Sound good? I do kind of wonder if stuff here will change. You know? Is that a cricket? What is that? I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening right here. I don't know. Oh, there was a weird tower over here, like a shrine. Maybe this opens when you get all the gold ones or something? I don't know. It's kind of stylized. Similarly. I think we can almost go in a gold puzzle. Which is exciting. New cardinal direction. One. Okay, yeah, so 2 puzzles undone total. That's right. Oh, we're going to the south.
1K, I'm sending you a little software upgrade I put together that should allow you to detect which files will lead to a data stream overload. Unfortunately, I'm not doing this to help you avoid them. In fact, I'm gonna need you to search for more.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm sorry
It's
about
fine.
that. But if we're going to unlock all the systems that aren't responding, you'll have to connect to the data stream. Possibly more than once. It's the only way for me to get access.
All right. Wow. Oh my gosh.
All right, 1K. In this area, there seems to be a problem with the machine that makes the tetromino bridges. That means you can solve the puzzles, but you can't activate the tower. Look for a lab that lets you connect to the data stream.
Right.
I
Oh my
already
gosh.
found it. I'll send you the coordinates.
So all of these are fucked up because of what we've done. I do want to point out, Miranda said something in a stream once about how the islands to the south are barren or something, and what she really meant by that was they were a desert. Those two things are not the same. I think a lot of people think that deserts aren't full of life when they are. Just throwing that out there. Oh, what's this? Is this the lab already? Looks the same as the other one.
Look at this place. It's beautiful, isn't it? Mesmerizing. That's how it lures you in, I think. You see all these beautiful things and your imagination starts working overtime. And then the puzzles, the towers, the mysterious apparitions, it all draws you further in, deeper into the trap. What if that's the whole point of this place? What if every time you have one of those visions, another little bit of you is corrupted, overwritten with the hubris of this place?
I think it's worth it.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to suggest you were, whatever it is I'm trying to say. I guess I'm just disappointed in myself. Byron needs me.
He's got survivor's
You
guilt.
all need me to do my job, and I can't even use a terminal. If this is all really the work of the Founder, I don't know, maybe she lost her way. Or maybe we're just not ready. But once we find Byron, I suggest we get the hell out of here and never come back.
Ooh. Oh, more magnets. Wait, what did that say? Error 5358. Dear Founder, everything has gotten so much worse since you left. We keep pursuing the goal, but our lives are getting less happy. When the weather is dry and the dam runs low, there's nothing to do in the whole city. Things don't get fixed anymore. We even had to dismantle the cinema. I know it was frivolous and pointless when we can just watch video files, but it was fun to go watch movies together like people used to do. I believe in your wisdom, Founder. I believe we have to avoid hurting the planet like our ancestors did. But I don't know if the mayor is doing what you would have wanted. Isn't there another way of reaching the goal? Please, I know you left for a reason, but I don't think we can go on go on this way. What does it mean? More Stratton. Amentis, you have made quite the catalog of horrors, Stratton. Children dying in their mother's arms, cities perishing by the plague, and even animals living without peace or happiness. Nicomachus? Why must we listen to this? You know I have just eaten a heavy dinner. Stratton, because these things, which are ugly, must be confronted for us to reach the truth. You spoke of justice earlier, Amentis, but are these things just? Amentis, they are not. Stratton, then you must admit the universe itself is not just. If the gods exist, 34, then they do not bend the world to their will. Rather, the universe proceeds as a machine, following its rules. Justice and virtue are human inventions. Amentis, are you saying justice and virtue are therefore illusory and should be abandoned? Stratton, the opposite, my friend. It is mankind alone that can impose these values upon the machine. Oh, I see. Footnotes, 34. It remains unclear whether Stratton believed in the gods or used them solely as metaphors. His work on the deities is no longer extant. Tantalizingly, Diogenes Laertius mentions that it caused a fistfight in the Lyceum. Athena, I thought what made us human was that we searched for meaning, but perhaps a better way of thinking about it is that we create meaning. Yeah, I think it can be both, but definitely with the creating meaning. Oh, nope, nothing. Oh, there's a pattern underneath. New primary site, lake water for cooling.
Our ancestors kept telling themselves that the brevity of their lives didn't matter. But they had so little time to ever really think about anything. I've spent several human lifetimes studying this mystery, and only now am I beginning to see. The simulation was built on top of material reality, unable to escape its constraints. In the same way, physics as we understand it, even quantum physics, is built on top of a deeper reality. A set of rules that define existence itself. There is a universal language of creation, and I think we can learn it.
I am gonna have to hear that again. What the hell?
The language of creation. What were they doing here? And how far did they get?
I can't answer that, but I think I'll fix the Tetromino bridge, machine, ring thing. I say I think because it's not in the schematics. And what I'm doing is hack work at best. Try it and see if it works.
Yeah, all those errors ignored. From Thekla again. Beloved Founder, years have passed and still there's nothing but silence. Have we sinned? Have you abandoned us for our arrogance, our greed? Some of the others continue to build. I told them not to, but they don't listen to me. Byron is the worst of them. He disrespects you constantly, spreading lies. Please know that there are those who remain faithful, who respect the limits you set and seek wisdom and humility as you taught. We may win the next election. Perhaps then you will return. That's so, like, somebody who has never met the Founder is so certain that they know so much more than literally one of her mentees. Founder. Although I was born in the early days of New Jerusalem, I never knew you well. This is not your fault. I became so focused on improving the dam that I didn't develop much in the way of social relationships, except perhaps with Melville. That doesn't mean I was unhappy. I was, in fact, extremely content. I like to solve complex problems in peace and quiet. That's who I am. But now the pleasure I used to get out of my work has faded. I may not need a lot of company, but I want my work to be meaningful, to contribute. It does not feel like that anymore, and when I suggest new projects, the mayor acts like I've committed a crime, like I should be ashamed. I do not like this. I do not care about social issues or debate. I do not want to get involved. I just want to be able to keep working on making things better. You can't not care about these things. Making things better. Like, you, guess what? You do care. I have news for you. Paying the price. The list of people condemned for advocating new ideas is long and depressing. Ignaz Semmelweis, utterly destroyed for suggesting doctors wash their hands. Ludwig Boltzmann ridiculed for suggesting the existence of atoms. Robert H. Goddard mocked for arguing that a rocket could reach the moon. Al-Razi attacked for questioning the existence of humors. Barbara McClintock's discovery of transposition ignored for years. The list goes on and on. And we haven't even touched on what happens to those who suggest political rather than scientific improvements. Even when they succeed, they often still pay with their lives. These days, the idea of progress is frequently derided as yet another narrative, identified with the establishment by critics who curiously portray themselves as rebels. But the truth is that every step forward that humanity has ever taken has come at enormous personal cost. That means it's even more important to stand up for the truth because so many others have already sacrificed themselves for it. It does, but what is the right way of doing it? Many died for the truth without accomplishing anything. Maybe we just have to do what's right and trust the universe and trust each other that eventually it will pay off because we don't have any other choice but to fucking act for the truth. This is, yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm saying anything new to anybody when I say, yeah, no shit, we've all experienced this. I remember a few years ago I was watching Drunk History and there was an episode of the guy who blew the whistle on lead paint, and I was absolutely floored. I had never really heard anything about this story before, but he was fucking prosecuted by the government for so long and by organizations because he dared to fight for getting the information out there that lead paint was dangerous. And that's just so insane to me right now, except, you know, then the pandemic began and nobody's fucking trying to do anything to clean the air in an airborne pandemic. I'm losing my mind. You know, people say things like, why should I wear a mask in public? Like, you know, that's silly. Nobody did it before. Yes, people did it before. It worked. And people ask things like, was there this much pushback when seatbelts became a thing? You know, why have we really always fought against safety mitigations? And the answer is yes. Yes, when doctors were first told to wash their hands, they were like, no, I'm not unclean, as if your physical cleanliness had anything to do with your spiritual cleanliness. When seatbelts first came out in the US, people were very against them, apparently. I wasn't around back then, but like, it's documented. This is very well documented, and yet we are still living it right now. Wear your fucking masks in public, people. Like, goddamn. Indoors in public especially. Anyway. Let's get out of here. Yeah, they look like they'll work now. House is beautiful. Oh, Melville will love this. Oh, holy shit, we can move these around? don't think that... Huh? Oh no, the time for puzzles has begun and I've forgotten how to do them all. I don't understand. What's the point of teleporting? Yeah. What's the point of... I'm so confused. What am I supposed to do? Oh my god, I don't know what to do. I don't understand. What good does this do? For this particular situation? What? I am bamboozled. We just got here. I have no idea. Oh my god. Okay, I need to take these things. The fan and the teleporter into this area. This is number 1. This isn't supposed to be difficult. This is supposed to be like, okay, here's how this works, kind of. Oh my god, I have no idea what to do. Literally no idea. Ooh, I didn't even notice this guy. Huh. Okay, well, I'm leaving. This is making me mad. What the fuck? Let me go stand on the bridge like Melville told me to. Jesus Christ. It works, Melville. I just have to actually do something, like solve a puzzle. Yeah, let's do number 8. Let's listen to this too.
Father, I updated the Noema algorithm. It's working twice as fast now, and I think I can increase matter output by 25% if I tweak the modulator a little. I'm so excited!
Nice to meet you. So excited. I'm Cornelius.
What? Oh, Dad! This is science!
No. You have no idea how long I've been waiting for the right moment.
Oh my god, that was so good! Oh, Cornelius. Perfect dad moment. Again, we can't go through these barriers. That's it, huh? Wait, where's the power receiver? What the shit? Yeah. Well, actually, if we get up there... Okay, great. How are we supposed to get this? That's my question. The connector has to come You hold things and teleport at the same time. That's what, yeah, okay. Oh my god, I can't even get up there though to like... Oh my god, are you serious? Oh, you know what? I know what to do. No, I don't. You have to have line of sight. Oh yeah, just go like this. Yeah, no, it's all good. Easy. Okay, stop. Actually, I need to... I need to connect to this goddamn thing. This won't, like... Yeah. I gotta, but now I need it. Oh my god. But now I need the thing! How do I get up in the air while holding the connector? This high, I mean, on top of the box. Now we need to get this in a place. Now... Oh my god, the steps involved in this. Oh my god, it's the same problem. It's the same fucking problem. Like, now I need to get there. Apparently this is not a puzzle day. Puzzles aren't going to work out for me. You know what? I could... try this.
I've decoded another file from the data stream. Listen to this.
Mother and Father think of our discoveries as a language, a code. But I think they're wrong. They're so caught up in the technical details of running the experiments and upgrading the machine that they're not paying attention to the patterns we're finding, to the symmetries, the harmonies, the melodies. The fundamental language of reality is a kind of music, and it's beautiful. Beauty is an inherent property of the cosmos.
I love the way she looks at things.
In some ways, teleportation is one of the less surprising things we found here, in that at least particle teleportation was known to be theoretically possible. Of course, that's still miles away from these teleporters, which operate on principles that simply contradict what we know of physics. The transfer of matter from one location to another is instantaneous, without an observable wormhole or similar effect. There's, however, a release of exotic particles in the instant of teleportation, which decay within fractions of a second. Let's try this again. Oh, I could just... I'm an idiot. Okay, so what we're gonna do is take this. No. First, what we're gonna do is take this. Just hold that. Now we can bring both of these things back over there. Got it. Expedition Mega Thread. Yep, we've seen some of these. Oh no, these are new. I think the powers that Athena has unlocked are world-changing, and it's our responsibility to use them to lessen the suffering for all living things. We know, we heard your broadcast. I think we're being tested, and Byron failed the test. What happened to Byron was an accident. Is there a difference ultimately? Yes, there is. No one's actually seen Athena or Cornelius or Miranda at the megastructure. They could all still be aliens. I feel like we need to at least think about the potential of all these new technologies. Why is everything malfunctioning on the island now? It's because of Byron. He was still logged into the system. Or it's Pandora. I think it was 1K who suggested the entities might be some part of some kind of security system. Could it be the system's gone rogue? Interesting. The choice of Pandora as a symbol cannot be accidental, and the message is obvious. The megastructure is Pandora's box, and we should not open it.
Listening to Miranda talk about beauty made me think. Okay, this might be super weird and kind of pretentious, but I honestly mean it. What is beauty? Like, where does it exist? Is it just in
Sure.
our minds?
I think that's a good
or
question.
Is there some objective component, something quantifiable? I always thought it was just perception, but if I understand her correctly, Miranda sees beauty as a property of the universe itself.
She does. I don't know though, you know. I think that beauty is subjective. But that it, I don't know. This sounds interesting, let's say that.
Interesting.
That's
So
what I
the
said.
more humans there are, the more we spread across the world, the more beauty there is. But then, doesn't it follow that it's our duty as a species to grow?
We keep coming back to that, don't
to
we?
make the universe more beautiful?
I don't know that I would say duty. I don't agree with this, but I don't agree with this either.
That's a really powerful image. Beauty flowering in the universe as intelligence spreads. Thank you. I hope you're right. All right, take care.
We can ask him something else.
1K, what's up? The southern part of the island is a natural desert, basically just due to the chemical composition of the soil. I haven't been able to work out why it's so warm, though. It could be a warm ocean current or something to do with the megastructure's thermal output. New Jerusalem doesn't have the kind of equipment I'd need to figure that out. I hope so. I understand why he was impatient, but he should have been more careful. Yeah, everyone knew Cornelius. After Eustathius retired, he was the only one left who was there since the beginning. Except I guess none of us really knew him after all. We all thought he was lost in the past, always studying the archive and the simulation. But he actually had all these secrets. And a daughter.
I wonder if he figured something out, and that's why we couldn't find him this time.
No, just surprised. Maybe a little sad that he felt he couldn't trust anyone with the truth. Mostly just made sure Pellegrino didn't mess up the VTOL. We only have a handful of them. and
Everybody
while they
keeps
look
talking
cool
down
the
on Pellegrino.
outside, the truth is they're held together by gaffer tape and good intentions. There's a reason Melville's always complaining.
This is what Damien was saying. He's not wrong.
You're right.
Let's put them
I guess
stakes
we
out
never
there.
think about how easily tragedies can happen when we don't pay attention. You neglect something here, cut some corners there, and then suddenly someone is gone. I think that's one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. I hope it's true. Okay, this may sound like a robot joke, but I love heavy metal, especially the more melodic kind. It's big, it's epic, it's full of emotion. You can really get lost in it.
Huh. Oh man. This is reminding me of the mountainy, snowy area. There's something out there. In the first game. Is that a window? Great. Now what? That's what. Where the hell are we trying to get to? Alright, let's try it. Oh no, it's too deep. Oh, damn it. Well, I guess if we come across that pattern, we'll know what to do. Oh, it's a bird. Oh no. I wasn't looking where I was going. What's this? Oh, can't go in that way.
In the early days, humankind lived in a world of unexplained wonders and terrors. The powers of the elements were understood in terms of gods and spirits. After all, how else could one explain thunderstorms and earthquakes? But as the realm of scientific knowledge expanded, the realm of the mystical began to shrink. The sacred grove, as Hegel wrote, was reduced to mere timber. But as superstition retreated, another thing was lost: meaning. In a purely mechanical universe, people yearned for the comfort provided by gods and spirits. But there was no way back.
But what about the beauty of the universe? The perfection of everything around us. Couldn't they see that?
Not sure I can see that, Miranda. But I do think there was another way, a way forward instead of back. Faith not in an invisible world, but in ourselves, in each other, in the inherent value of consciousness and civilization. They never really found it, but I think that in those last months when their whole species was dying, they caught a glimpse of it. And that's how your mother was born.
Man. Dude, what the fuck? I feel like I should be able to teleport, right? Like, why? Oh, I can't even see the door from here. won't be able to. It's okay. Keep wrecking my knees and my ankles. I won't be able to. What does that pressure plate connect to? I won't be able to teleport back up, I don't think. But I don't really have anything else to do at the moment. Oh, I can. Where's that? Worth a shot. What is that doing? Oh, it's keeping that slot open? Yeah. That's okay, I think. We just need to... Oh, no, it's not. It's not okay. We are closed off from it. Oh my god. That was just kind of fiddly.
You know, a couple of years back, we went on a scavenging expedition to an ancient industrial complex south of New Jerusalem. It was enormous, sprawling, an area many times bigger than our whole city, just dedicated to manufacturing.
Damn it. Hopefully what he says is in the log. Not gonna start over. Damn it. I'm a fool. I cut off Yaqut. These are so crazy. I'm gonna stand up there. Can I get up there? Maybe. City by the Sea. When I realized it was over, it was all really over for good. When I realized it was all really over for good, I decided to take one last trip to my favorite places before the symptoms got too much. I could never forget what they did to Chakidiki. This incredible, wild, rugged place between mountain and sea, with pine trees all the way down to the water. The colors, the vistas, the sheer overwhelming beauty of it all. And they just built all over it. Hideous hotels sprawling like tumors, obscene beach bars blaring their awful music across the sea. Even in Cavoro-tribes? It was impossible not to hate humanity a little for it. The idea of all of it returning to nature, of the hotels gradually sinking back into the reed fields, was moving and beautiful. But then I went back to Thessaloniki, and for all the ugliness inflicted upon that city, the idea that people would no longer meet up beneath the Camara, or go for long, ambling walks on the promenade, or for crepes on Platea Navarino, was unbearably sad. The idea of the rotunda just standing there, empty, after being a sacred place for so many centuries, it made me remember that it's not just beaches and forests that are beautiful, that cities can be more than just streets and noise. Cities can have histories and personalities, and that means something. Who am I writing this for? Do I believe there will be survivors after all? Do I think that crazy robot project I heard about will actually work out? Do I hope that aliens will come to our planet one day and wonder who we were? The truth is, I don't know. But there is something in the love we feel for the beautiful things that we built, as much as in our revulsion towards unnecessary destruction, that matters. Why didn't our ancestors understand that you can build in ways that make an area more beautiful instead of ruining it? Even if all they cared about was personal benefit, wouldn't that benefit them more? In the long run, yes, but people rarely think about the long-term consequences, especially if there's an incentive to act immediately. And yet most people were unhappy with the results. Couldn't they see that it was within their control to act differently? She's very, not wrong exactly, but man, she's childlike. From LD Armands, can you point me in the direction of a better timeline? Humans are problem solvers is a quote frequently associated with my friend Alexandra Drennan. It's become a meme on the internet, used both ironically and not, though Alexandra, of course, is entirely earnest in her dedication to humanity. It's a great thought and vital to understanding our species, but it's also not entirely as simple as that. Take, for example, the recent extinction of the orangutan and the ensuing conversation of the dangers of unknown pathogens released by human activity. Most of us agree that a problem exists, and significantly, most of us believe that something ought to be done about it. So we've identified the problem, and we have collectively decided to act. So why is nothing happening? That's a serious question. A great deal of effort is expended on raising awareness, but I would like to suggest that sometimes our problem-solving impulses can get stuck on the wrong goals. Awareness is not the issue. We've already convinced people that something needs to change. So if nothing changes, we have to wonder, why is the will of the people not being translated into action? She's also capable of being devastatingly sarcastic, but that's another story for another book. Maybe the problem was that they didn't have enough hope. They could see the problems, but they couldn't imagine that one day those problems could be solved. It's easy for people to get so lost in the problems of the present that they think nothing will ever change. They lost hope because the historical circumstances they found themselves in encouraged despair, but that in turn meant the conditions could not change. How do you go against history itself? There's way too much to unpack here. So much to unpack in all of these discussions that bring this up. Why didn't we collectively as a species act if we collectively knew better and collectively wanted to do something about it? Why can't we act? And it's a damn good question. Yemo died today. One moment he was there welding a joint on the upper levels of the tower, and the next he was gone. One careless step, that's all it took. Athena brought him to the dam, but even Cornelius couldn't help. Yemo is gone. Now there's only 12 of us. Oh. they experienced death of someone that they knew for the first time. That's day 372. That's just over a year. Well, maybe that's just over a year from Hypatia's. I don't know, what is this counting? What is this counting from? So Yemo just died in an accident. Like, just took a wrong step and maybe fell. And he was broken beyond repair. The hell was that?
This is a design for an improved charging station. Fascinating, but not relevant.
Seems pretty fucking relevant. You guys keep talking about how scant resources are and, you know, powering up and powering down. It's like a big fucking deal. But yeah, no, we've got other stuff to do, to take care of. Time for a break, I think. This is so cool. I love this structure. This is probably one of my favorites so far.